Welcome back to the journey. Some journeys are a little less rocky than others. This one has definitely been a hectic journey. As you all know, I'm back here in the States. I'm trying to liquidate. Everything must go. So beginning tomorrow, Saturday, I don't know when you're watching this, it's late Friday night. I have been just busier than a one-arm paper hanger. Trying to get everything ready to go, trying to move stuff. I had a lot of things I had to get running. I had a Honda four-wheeler that somebody's wanted it, and I said, but they says it's got to run. I've got to know that for sure it runs. Well, the battery was completely cooked on it, so I had to go get a battery, and then I could make sure it ran. Okay, brand new AGM battery. This ain't a cheap one. Let's see if this thing works. Okay, gas is on. Okay, it works. All right, we're good. Let me get it. Tools are falling off. All right. Good. Then I have a generator that somebody wanted. I had to get it running. As good as the day it was new. And I didn't see any dirt in the carburetor, so I have no idea, but pulled it apart, I sprayed out the carburetor, put it all back together, she fired up on the first pull. So today I've been playing mechanic. I still have grease on my hands, but I'll be all right. Start this yard sale tomorrow. This is Friday night, late. I'm going to go to bed pretty soon. Going to start this thing at 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Everything must go. So I thought I had some help coming out on Saturday, but one of them had other things that came up, so hopefully another friend of mine will be out and help me tomorrow. I'll try and get a few clips of this, but I may be pretty busy too, so who knows how that's going to go. I'm really hoping to sell a lot of things. Now, understand, I inherited all of a good portion of my parents' property when, well, their possessions. They were hoarders. So that made me a hoarder because I didn't get rid of the stuff early enough. Well, I was working 5 and 6 days a week every week, and it was just hard to do that and take care of everything else. And then after my wife passed away, she was a hoarder too. So yeah, it was, let's just say that the house got small with too much crap. Stuff, yeah, there we go, stuff in the house. And all of these smalls, all of these old things, they've got to go. I've been donating a lot of things to charity, things that maybe could be repurposed, put to use. I sold some things. I think you saw in the last video that the side-by-side went, and I've sold some other things since then. I've had a lot of people come by, say, yeah, I'd like that, I'd like this, I'd like that. Yeah, they haven't done that. So it's interesting. But the yard sale's got to go on. So I have to get up early in the morning and get started. I deliberately set the yard sale for 10 a.m. This time of the year, it could be a little cool in the mornings. And that gives me time to get up and move things, get tables set up and whatever else. Yeah, it's a pain, but you know, you can't just walk away. And I want to put this house up for sale. I can't put the house up for sale until it's empty. I've got Balik Bayon boxes. I think I have 8 of them. The jumbos that are coming on Monday. Forex, one of the shippers for the Philippines, is bringing those by. Now, I've shipped with Forex in the past. As many of you know, my late wife was a Filipina. So we shipped Balik Bayon boxes over to her sister in Laguna province. Probably 1 or 2 a year. Wasn't a whole lot. But where I'm relocating, there's a lot of things that I'm shipping over. I had somebody ask me, why would you want to send dishes that your wife used? Well, for one thing, we're practical. But those dishes, they're not just cheap dishes. They're pretty expensive dishes. But I have a lot of things that my late wife bought that are still in the boxes, have never been used. Yeah, like I said, she was somewhat of a hoarder. We had just about every kitchen appliance known to mankind. I've got a bunch of things that are going up in the garage, in the yard sale tomorrow. And this isn't including power tools, some of mine, some that I inherited from my dad when he passed away. I got a lot of everything. So, you know, it's all got to go. You can only send so much over in Balik Bayon boxes. And for anybody that's asking, I live in Utah and I'm shipping the boxes to Rizal province, Cainta. That's where my parent-in-laws live, is Cainta. And they said that they would take care of things until I can get them moved up to our house, wherever that may be. Again, when I get back, we are going to be searching for either buy a house, rent a house, build a house. We don't know yet, but we're definitely getting out of our condo where we're at. We got to get moved before my stepdaughter has her new school year. Now, you can't just pull a kid, and she's 14. You can't just pull a kid out of one school and put them in another in the middle of the school year. They're going to lose their school year. Here in the United States, we can pull kids out of school and the next day put them into another school. It's not a problem. They can transfer records. Well, unfortunately, in the Philippines, records transfers are a little harder to do. Just go do anything with the government. And if you go to one province and you do something, and then you go to another province and you want what you did in this province moved over to that province, it may be impossible and you may have to start completely over again. Yeah, we had that problem with our marriage license. We got our marriage license in Rizal province, and we were getting married in Quezon City. So after we'd already gotten our marriage license in Cainta, we had to go back to Cainta and get certified true copies and take those to Quezon City. Now, the marriage license was already registered and things like that, but transferring records from one city to another or from one province to another, it's not that easy. So it is what it is. It's just a way of life. You learn to live with it. Eventually, I'm sure they'll get their computers all linked up with one another and they'll figure out something. You know, remember, the Philippines is a developing country, and it's up to everyone that lives over there to help it develop and grow. You know, any suggestions we can give to the government officials and things, I'm sure that a lot of things they know, but the funds are not there yet. Remember, Philippines has a very low tax base. So they don't want to tax the snot out of everybody. It is what it is. All right, so I'm going to make this short. The other thing I was going to talk about, if you're moving, make sure you cross all your T's, dot all your I's. Before I left to come back here, I had filed for my Social Security online. I've not gotten any kind of recognition or anything that had been accepted. I was looking on their website. I can't find where that had been filed. So I called Social Security. No, sir, we do not have a record of you filing. Great. You know, March was going to be the month I filed. April was going to be my waiting month. I should have gotten my first Social Security check in May. No. So now I've got to do a phone interview and things and we're going to get this all taken care of on the phone. There may be some more things I have to do online, but that will be on the 18th. They scheduled a phone call with me, so I've got to block out that a block of time to get this done. Remember, you want to get that done while you're back here in the States before you go to the Philippines, because once you go there, it's not so easy to get that all done. As I found out, you know, I thought I did all this online. It didn't take. I had the same kind of problem with all kinds of websites, apps, whatever. I just don't have any luck with those things. They never work for me. Other people, they have no problem. They're doing the same thing I'm doing, but it works. But it's just my little black cloud over my head, I guess. It just doesn't always work for me. So always do your due diligence. Always follow up whenever you've got something you're doing. Follow up. Make sure that it's taken. And you don't want to leave and go overseas until you make sure that your Social Security checks are in the bank. Now, another problem that I have, you are only allowed to move $9,999.99. Just don't make that $10,000. You can only move that much. Now, when I sell this house, there'll be more than $10,000 going into my account. So I've been working with the bank, and they're setting up a process to where I can do a wire transfer from the Philippines. They know that I'm going to the Philippines. They knew I was there earlier. All up until just recently, that's where I've been, is in the Philippines. They knew I was over there. You don't hide that stuff from your bank, because you need them to be your partners. That's where your money is, and you're going to need money over there once you get there. So I've been working with my bank to make sure I can do a wire transfer, a large sum of money, because one of the things we want to do is either build or buy a house, hopefully by September. We've looked at houses. I've talked to realtors. I've talked to some contractors. I've looked at some building plans, rough sketches, not the exact blueprints, but, a rough sketch and everything. Gotten some general ideas on pricing and things like that. So depending on how much I get out of my house, that will go towards our new house. It won't be anything fancy. It'll be middle class. Hey, I'm middle class here. I don't look to be rich. I don't look to be a king. Even if I could afford it, I wouldn't do that. You don't want to flaunt your money over there, because it won't be long before somebody's scaling the walls and breaking into your house and figuring that they want to be king too. So be wise. We don't need a big house. There's 3 of us, and there's myself, my wife, and my stepdaughter. It's another thing. Sometimes I call her my daughter. Now, I have a biological daughter. Like I said, she lives 5 minutes away from here. I have a biological son, and they're both cool if I call my stepdaughter occasionally my daughter, but it's usually in the context of my wife and my daughter. Sometimes it's easier just to say daughter than stepdaughter. So, yeah, go easy on me, all right? And no, I'm not going to scan photos into digital. I've lost so many pictures that were scanned digitally, and then there's a glitch in the digits, and it's all gone. So I have the actual photos. Little photos. You remember those taken with film, printed on paper? Yeah, I've got photo books, photo albums, and there are some of those that I choose to keep because they're a reflection of my life. There's some that I'm giving to my biological daughter, right here. And they are family pictures that go back to the turn of the 20th century. My stepdad's dad was born 1898, and some of those pictures go back to 1910, 1915, things like that. You know, when he was just a young man. He lived to be 98 years old. And yeah, he was, you know, I mean, he may have been my step-grandfather, but we still called him Grandpa. Again, step or not. So, you know, like I said, I had a stepdad. Most of the time I call him my dad. So if I'm referring to my biological father, I will usually say biological father. My stepdad raised me from the time I was 3 or 4 years old, raised my sister, and he was my dad. And so if I refer to my stepdaughter, well, you know, we have a very close relationship. She's my daughter too. I've taken her on. I'm raising her as my daughter, and you know, she needs a dad, and here I am. So anyway, I'm not going to ramble on anymore. I've done enough of that already. In the future, I'll try and get some pictures of these of the yard sale things we've got out, and people coming and people going. I've got the generators all ready to go. It's running now. Doing my mechanic stuff. The Honda four-wheeler, it's running. It's ready to go. My daughter, my biological daughter, the one that lives like 5 minutes away, I had somebody that wanted to buy it. She outbid him. She wanted that Honda. Now, understand, that was my mother's Honda. It's an old one, but it runs like new. And my daughter learned how to ride on that, and we had a lot of fun times around that four-wheeler. And you know, we had our own off-road vehicles too, but it was my mother's machine, and when she passed away, my dad wouldn't give it to me, so when he passed away, then I got it. Took a while, and I hate the circumstances of how I got it. You know, I'd much rather have my parents still here, but you know, God has other plans. If you want to you want to hear God laugh, tell him you have a plan, right? So I inherited that, and my daughter says it can't leave the family. I will give you whatever it takes to get it. So I went down, put a battery. I got a battery for it, got it running, got the tires all inflated and balanced and everything, and rode it up and down the street a little bit today. Yep, runs great. Yay. So she's coming by to get that on Sunday. Another friend's coming by to get the generators, some other things tomorrow, I think. And I've got a lot of people coming by. I've got this up on Facebook Marketplace. I've got it in my local county Marketplace. Yeah, the city Marketplace, you know, so I'm trying to advertise. We're going to have the garage sales Saturday and Sunday every weekend until it's all gone. How else are you going to do it? You know, one of the expats lives in Cebu. He suggested I contact a place called estatesales.net. I did. No, all they do is put you in touch with other brokers. Unfortunately, I don't live in Salt Lake City. I live outside of the city, about 40 miles outside of the city. It's remote to most of these people. They don't even want to deal with it. So what are you going to do? Yard sale. All right. That's all I'm going to say. Talk to you all later, and stay safe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Oh, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, you know, those little things. So, okay, I did my begging, all right? Catch y'all later.